Where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, please stand and join us. It's fun, right?
Welcome to Uni Renaissance. We don't let any stinking heat keep us from coming to church, do we? Great to see you all here. Hello to those of you who are watching online today. We are with you in spirit and hope wherever you are, you're staying nice and cool also. Special shout out today. I know she is not watching, but happy birthday to my granddaughter who's turning 2 today. Love you, Vivian. We're going down to see her catching a plane after the service today. Get down there. So very excited about that. And hey, I'd like to share something I think is kind of important with you this morning. So, I always feel so great when we come together in community and in love, sharing our vision for Uni Renaissance. This has been a really difficult week out there in the world. There's just been a lot of hurtful things being said and done, and divisiveness, and name-calling, just a lot of things that really hurt our hearts. And so I want to share with you that yesterday our Board of Trustees met. We were here for about 6 hours doing a strategic planning to really plan the very exciting future for Unity Renaissance. And we created a collage, actually hanging right up there, of our key values, what's most important to us, what we believe are our strengths here at Unity Renaissance. And at the very center of that is diversity. It's diversity. We recognize, we cherish diversity as what makes us strong, as what really represents all the very beautiful ways in which God expresses in this world. And I just want to say today, and say to those of you watching online today, how extremely proud and grateful I am to be part of a spiritual community that honors the inherent dignity and worth in every human being. We're not perfect here at Unity, but I will tell you this. Regardless of where you're from, where you were born, your race, your ethnicity, your religious background, your sexual orientation, your age, your past beliefs, your current beliefs, your spiritual path, whatever it is, you're welcome here. We want you here. And what I really dream of is just ever expanding and increasing diversity, because truly this is what Unity is all about. And not only that, my friends, but I truly deep down in my heart believe that that is exactly the kind of congregation Jesus would have wanted. Can I get an amen to that? Absolutely. So we are following his teachings and his examples in terms of loving all of humanity. Truly, it is all about love. And at Unity, we honor all paths to God, all names for God, and all expressions of God. And each and every one of you, and each and every one of you watching online today, never forget this, that you are an expression of God. We know that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and as we really tune into that truth within us, as we behold that beautiful divine light within us, and we behold it in one another, that light just grows and grows, and in ways we may never even know about, it lights up the world. Yeah. Our vision at Unity Renaissance is, together, a spiritually awakened world, living in peace, love, and joy. And we are manifesting that vision through our mission, which is, together, we transform lives that transform the world. Amen. Beautifully done. Let's begin our time of transformation this morning in prayer. I invite you to get comfortable in your seat. Let's just breathe in deeply the beautiful energy of this new day, this lovely Sunday morning. Breathe out into the oneness that unites us. Sweet Spirit, we're just so grateful to be together in spiritual community this morning, to behold the face of God in every face we see, to appreciate that divine essence in all people and all that is around us. We come together in this same spirit of unity and joy, celebration and discovery. And for all of these many blessings, for this very sacred and special place we call Unity Renaissance, we're so grateful. Thank you. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life when I thought I had to do it all by myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was a hand. But now I know when I'm discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what I have to say.
Let's stand up, y'all.
I release and I let go. Let the Spirit from my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.
God. Please join me in our divinity salute as we turn to greet our neighbors with a bow, a handshake, or a hug. Together, the divine in me greets the divine in you. We serve and celebrate together for the glory of God. Woo.
Woo! Good morning, Unity Renaissance. And good morning to the divine spirits that are live streaming us. My name is Peggy Taylor. I am delighted, overjoyed in being your platform assistant this morning. This group, you people. Woo. I am so honored to be in my spiritual home and to where I feel safe, secure, and loved. And it's my honor to let us read and say what the daily word is today. That word is time enough. Please join me in our affirmation. I have time, faith, and strength enough to do what needs to be done by me. As I look forward to all I plan to accomplish today, I seek guidance in prayer. God's peace quiets my mind, calms my emotions, and relaxes my body. Prayer quickens my divine faculties of love, wisdom, understanding, and order. I am guided to organize my time in a way that allows me to fulfill important commitments, contribute to my own and others' spiritual growth, and provide physical activity and rest that my body needs. Divinely guided, I also recognize and release activities that do not contribute to my highest good. I feel God's guiding presence as my day unfolds in divine order. I affirm I have faith and time and strength enough to do what needs to be done by me. Today, our scripture is from Proverbs 13th chapter, 16th verse, and it's beautiful. The clever do all things intelligently. Isn't that cute? We have prayer chaplains available to pray with us today after the service. You can connect with them in the chapel, which is outside in the Narthex, and allow them to share with you those concerns you have, your prayers, your desires, your dreams. Enter their space where they're holding the Christ consciousness and seeing the Christ in you. Our prayer chaplains today are Lorraine and Deb. You can recognize them by their shawls. They are wonderful God lights. So may we now all stand and sing the Lord's Prayer.
thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
Two devotional songs, one from the east and one from the west. One from the west you're probably familiar with, "You Are the Face of God," and the Eastern Sanskrit chant is Om Namah Shivaya, which praises Shiva, which represents our inner divinity. So we're praising our inner God in others and in ourselves. We invite you all to sing along wherever it's comfortable for you.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
that goes for you watching online, too. A learned university professor once went to see a Zen master to learn about Zen. And he told him that he knew a lot about Asian religion and history and culture, but he didn't know too much about Zen. And so he had come to find out. So the Zen master invited the professor to have some tea. They sat down together, and the Zen master began to pour the visitor's cup of tea, and soon it was full. But the Zen master continued to pour, nevertheless, and pretty soon the cup was overflowing and kind of spilling out in all directions. And the professor shouted out, "Stop! The cup is already too full." And the Zen master said, "Like the cup, your mind is too full. Your mind is too full of ideas and presumed knowledge and concepts. I cannot show you Zen unless you empty your cup." Now, what he was really saying is, you need to clean house in here, right? You need to get rid of all those thoughts and concepts that are cluttering up your mind. You must first empty yourself in order to make room for God. So this brings us to the next two suggestions in Dean Slider's great book. I guess I left it down there, but you know what it looks like. That's all right. Oh, here's Vanna showing you the book. Yes, here it is. Thank you, Peggy. And here is the book. It says, The Zen Commandments, 10 Suggestions for a Life of Inner Freedom. And these next two suggestions are, keep it simple and be devoted. And actually, those two are very closely connected when you think about it, because when you simplify your life, you can more readily see what's truly important. Is it not true? You actually can more fully discern the divine essence in all that is around you. And then you may be naturally led to devote yourself to that which you love. So in terms of simplicity, I think, dare I say, all of us would really enjoy if our lives were a little bit simpler. Right here in the 21st century, life has never been fuller or more complex than it is today. And yet, even going back to the 19th century, Henry David Thoreau was advising people to simplify, simplify. And he went off to Walden Pond to show how it was done. And indeed, from Henry David Thoreau, all of the sages through the ages, including, by the way, Jesus, who remember said to leave your nets, to leave your possessions behind and follow me, they have all been teaching us that less is more. That less is more. Less stuff, less clutter mean more freedom and more peace. In fact, the more we release, the more we set ourselves free, just like the song we were just singing. Didn't that feel good? I release and I let go. I just felt a sense of freedom around that. So I like to think of it as kind of like a hot air balloon. If you're in a hot air balloon, in order to rise, you got to throw the sandbags over the side. Well, same thing for if we want to rise in consciousness. We got to get rid of our baggage. We really need to get rid of whatever ideas we may be holding, whatever is making our lives so dense and weighty. And one of my very favorite quotes, I know I've shared it before, it's from the 13th century Christian mystic Meister Eckhart, and he said, "God is not found in the soul by adding anything, but by a process of subtraction." Yes, emptying, if you will. You know, a lot of times when we think about subtraction or simplifying our lives, our minds immediately go to our external environment, like, oh yeah, I really should clean out the garage. Maybe it's time to have a yard sale. You know, I really could get rid of some old clothes, take them over to Goodwill. We think about reducing our external clutter, and all that is great. I'm not minimizing the value of that. But just as important, if not more important, is getting rid of our internal clutter. Our internal clutter. These are the old habits and beliefs and the patterns and the issues and the stories and the ideas that we are holding inside that are getting in our way and holding us back. Get a clean house up there. Let all this stuff go that is no longer serving you, if it ever served you. And so in his book, Dean Slider offers various ways in which we can simplify our lives. And the one that really resonated with me, I thought this was really intriguing because I never thought about this before. He said one of the easiest ways, I don't know if it's easy, but one of the obvious ways in which we can simplify our lives is to be kind to others. To simply be kind to others. I hadn't really thought of that before, how much that simplifies things. But he says one of the many rewards of acting with kindness is that it helps keep life simple. One of the many punishments of cruelty and thoughtlessness is that they make life incredibly complicated. Is it not true? If you even just think about this in your own life, when you're holding a grudge, or you're revisiting a negative experience, or an experience that's bothering you or creating an issue, when you're stirring up all kinds of drama, you're making your life all the more complicated and dense. So we can make a very conscious choice to be kind. And let me just tell you, as is true pretty much with any spiritual practice, as soon as you set your intention and how you're going to be, you can be pretty confident that everything not like that is going to now rise up to the surface. So as you set your intention, I'm going to be kind to people, what's going to surface is all of the ways you used to think and act, the old judging, the old criticizing, that temptation to be sarcastic or controlling or try to change people, whatever it might be. It all just comes to the forefront. Why? Because that used to be your go-to strategy before. But it's great that it's coming up, because as soon as it comes up and it's in your awareness, you can let it go. Let me just say this. I feel like this is really the key to our spiritual enlightenment, is to realize that we always have that pause. We always have this God-given little bit of time in order to choose the response that we want to make. We always have that moment before we say something hurtful, before we snap to judgment, before we're sarcastic, before we're cynical, we always have that little pause there. And in that pause, not only our enlightenment, but our freedom, because we can make a different choice. And in this case, we can choose, rather than going to perhaps those behaviors that create negativity and hurt ourselves and others, we can choose to be kind, which really in this case means accepting people as they are. Oh, what a concept. Oh yeah, this is who you are. Isn't that how you want to feel, that people accept you for who you are? There's great wisdom in the old adage, live and let live. Contrary to our popular belief, no one died and left us in charge of everybody. We're not here to fix everybody and get everybody on the same page. People are who they are. And it's actually a beautiful thing. When we open ourselves to that, we realize, to kind of go back to those popular books a while ago, live and let live, but don't sweat the small stuff. Remember that? And then I think there was a sequel later, and really in the grand scheme of things, it's all small stuff. We may put a lot of importance on it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's all small stuff. So the 19th century novelist Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote a little short story called The Birthmark. Has anybody ever read that short story? All right, so The Birthmark is about this scientist who becomes obsessed with this little spot of discoloration on the left cheek of his otherwise perfect wife. Just this one little thing. Well, the story has a rather dark ending, because he begins brewing all these different potions to get that off, to get rid of that discoloration. And in the process, these potions end up killing her. Like I said, it's a little dark. But Dean Slider draws, I think, a very powerful spiritual lesson from that. So listen up. He says, the effort to impose perfection on the surface, rather than to recognize the perfection at its depth, usually results in some kind of destruction. Let me read it again. The effort to impose perfection on the surface rather than to recognize it at depth usually results in some kind of destruction. Think about this for a moment. Perhaps, I'm guessing you may well have had somebody in your life who kind of gave you that feeling, you know, you're just great if you just fix this one little thing. Like you're almost there. You're almost good enough for me to love, except whatever it might be. It didn't kill you, obviously, but it kills your spirit, doesn't it? This one little thing. And think about how different that is than someone who recognized the perfection of who you are. He really just sees the face of God in you, the presence of the Christ in you. You know, our lives just become enormously simpler when we simply allow ourselves to love people just because they are. Because they are, just because you're here and you're you. You know, everyone's a human being just like us. Everyone is uniquely themselves, just like us. And not only is that something to accept, it's something to revel in, something to cherish, maybe even be a little curious about. Love people simply because they are. Well, one of my favorite TV shows is a show called Fixer Upper. Does anybody watch Fixer Upper? Oh my gosh, don't you love that show? I love that show. We could talk for hours about that show, but anyway, we're not going to. But I love that show. It's almost as good as Project Runway, but not quite. But it's good. So for those of you who don't know, Fixer Upper is about this couple in Waco, Texas. And basically what they do is they help home buyers find an old, rundown, and sometimes even dilapidated, I mean really incredibly falling apart sort of homes, and then they fix them up. They turn it into the purchaser's dream home. So it's just this really great transformation, wonderful creativity, incredible stuff that they do. So I really love that aspect of it, but I've come to believe that what I love even more than that is the way these people, Chip and Joanna Gaines, they're the hosts, the way Chip and Joanna relate to each other. Anyone who's ever watched the show knows that Chip can be rather boyish. He's very fun-loving. He's sometimes very silly. He'll jump into the river with all his clothes on. He'll swing from the rafters of the house. He'll put a lampshade on his head in the antique store. He will try to throw his body through a wall on demo day. And through it all, Joanna just smiles and goes with it. She does. I think she really kind of enjoys it, right? I mean, she lets Chip be Chip. She doesn't roll her eyes. She doesn't make a sarcastic comment. She doesn't say, hey, you know, we got work to do here. Sometimes she even joins in with his antics. There's a wonderful playfulness there. It's live and let live. She lets him be who he is. And he lets her be who she is. And the result of that is very plain in this show. They absolutely adore each other, which is evident by the fact they have 5 children. They absolutely, they love each other. Really. They are devoted to each other. And it all is because of this, I believe, well, maybe many things, but what at the heart of it is unconditional love, where they've set each other free. Isn't that beautiful? Gosh, powerful. I've really learned a lot watching that. But actually, my best teacher on this front, around accepting people as they are and loving unconditionally, is that guy right there. So Richard has shown me how to love the essence of someone and don't sweat the small stuff. You know, quite honestly, in my own life, I've not always been as non-judgmental and live and let live as I would like to be. I sometimes have a real penchant for offering up my unsolicited opinion. But his example inspires me. And I know how it makes me feel. That it's all okay, that I'm loved no matter what. I'm still working on it. Not where I want to be yet, I'm still working on it. But I'm moving in the right direction. Thank you. So So here's the point. Our relationships can be a lot simpler than we make them. We make them complicated. We load on all the stories and the issues and the shoulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, and I'm right, you're wrong, and all that stuff. They can be a lot simpler than that. And in this book, Dean Slider offers up this advice, these suggestions for how to simplify our relationships and enjoy them more. And I have to tell you, I think this is probably the best advice I've ever heard for just having happy, harmonious relationships. And we're talking whether it's romance and marriage, family, friendships, whatever the relationship might be. So here's what he says. The first one, take care of one another. You know, you look out for one another, right? Second, be as kind as you can. It doesn't cost anything. It feels good. Next. Do your share of finding new sources of fun. You know, whether it's in a friendship or marriage or family, bringing in these ideas that how you keep the life and the adventure alive. Next. Quietly pass up opportunities to score points or be a wise guy. All right, here's another example where, you know, you have that little moment of pause. You might be thinking, oh, I could make a real smart remark, or I'll put you in your place, or wait a minute, you know, whatever it is, just let it pass, man, let it pass. It's destructive. Next. Give the benefit of the doubt. We are so quick to make up stories about what's really going on, what people are thinking or doing or whatever. Just give people the benefit of the doubt. Next. Try to make things less insane rather than more. Enough said. Address issues gently and with respect. You know, inevitably in any relationship, there are going to be issues that arise. We're not sugarcoating this. Things are going to come up. There are going to be times when you need to speak up for yourself, set your boundaries, if you will. But you can always do it from a place of respect. You can always present it in a way that isn't attacking or making someone wrong, but simply stating your truth. You know, when you have things to work out, you can work them out on what the author here calls the active surface level of the relationship, which means that where you interact with one another, you're talking about these behaviors, but you're not bringing into doubt or question ever the deeper love that is there. And he offers, I think, this terrific example for those of you who remember this, the honeymooners. You know, Ralph Cramden. So he used to just, you know, he would be all over Alice and he'd say, bang, zoom, Alice, you know, send her to the moon. He's so frustrated with her. And what did he say at the end of every one? Baby, you're the greatest. So that underlying love was never in doubt. So these are ways in which we simplify our relationships, and quite honestly, when we stop judging, controlling, trying to change, sabotage, withdraw, whatever it might be, when we stop doing that, we truly do open up the way for true connection, true heart connection, and devotion. So devotion is simply defined as profound dedication. And the fact is that we as human beings are wired for it. We long for it. In his book, Dean Slider says, we're built for it the way birds are built for flight. It's not a matter of whether, but to whom or to what we will be devoted. Do you ever feel that longing in your own heart? A longing to give yourself in devotion? Well, I believe we all feel that. Because we want to feel a sense of connection with all that is, with that sort of oneness. We want to give ourselves to something greater than ourselves. And so when we become devoted, it really is signifying that we are beholding the infinite. We're beholding the infinite, and could be a loved one, could be a spiritual teacher, could be a spiritual practice, could be a place, could be an object or a symbol. And the key here is that we don't deify that. We're not talking about graven images or false idols. Rather, what we're doing is venerating a form of the formless in order to more fully connect with and experience the formless. Does that make sense? So whatever it is that we are devoting ourselves to in a tangible sense is actually a conduit to the infinite. I love that. A conduit to the infinite. And that's what we feel inside when we're feeling devoted. So as soon as we have a perception of the infinite in a person, place, thing, whatever it might be, then we're primed for devotion. And devotion simply means that we put it front and center. We make it a priority in our life. We know our oneness with it. And we have a longing to give ourselves to it. You know, I think one of the most inspiring outcomes of feeling devotion is this desire to be of service. Because that's what happens. You know, when your heart is really touched, you want to get back. And I just want to say here at Unity Renaissance, even to those of you watching as well, we are so deeply blessed by all the people who volunteer, give their love, their time, their talent, their treasure here. And it really is because of this wellspring of love and devotion within you, and the glory of giving back to what you love. And so as you go about your day, I invite you to put these practices to work in your own life. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. You just take it a step at a time. Work on keeping it simple and being devoted. Work on keeping it simple by being kind. And heaven knows, the world needs our kindness right now more than ever. Man, I don't know about you, but even the tiniest little act of kindness just gets me to tear up these days. So be that person. And behold the infinite in all that is around you. Devote yourself to that which you love. And step by step, your cup that has been emptied will overflow with greater freedom, greater unity, and greater joy. Let's turn now to our meditation. I invite you to get comfortable in your seat. Close your eyes if you wish. Take a deep breath in. Release and let it go. And one more time, breathing in deeply. This time as if breathing in and out through your heart. Breathe in and let go. Feeling in this moment how very sweet it is to simply be here, to be here now. And allowing yourself to open to the possibilities in your own life, to simplify and be kind. Perhaps the person you most need to be kind to is yourself. Letting go of your self-criticism, your self-doubt, any ways in which you fail to behold the Christ in you. And appreciate in this moment the perfection that is already there at depth. I invite you to breathe into the presence of God in you and open yourself to guidance for what is next on your spiritual path. How might you release and let go? How might you express your devotion? And listen in the silence. thanks for the ever unfolding insights in our spiritual journey. We're so grateful for each new opportunity to learn and grow. We bless the infinite in its many forms arising in our lives and within us. And for this, we are grateful. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding creation. Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Well, now is the time in our service for the sharing of our love offering, an expression of our devotion to this wonderful place we call our spiritual home. And I invite you to really tune into that place within you, that sense of appreciation and gratitude. And same for those of you watching online, we invite you to contribute as well. And hey, I really want to thank all of you who are taking advantage of text to give. Man, that saves us a lot of paperwork. You can use your debit card, your credit card, bam, goes right into the church account. Very simple for you, very simple for us. So thank you for that. And should you wish to give via your smartphone, you just text the word give to 418-1228. Just one round. Okay, very good. All right, come on up. I invite you to hold your gift in your hand. You may hold your phone in your hand if you wish. Wave it over the basket when it comes around. And let's bless this offering together. Join me now in our offertory blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Yellow.
Let's get our groove on.
My mama, one day she sat me down. She said, there's a little something that I have found. You better listen now. Oh, son, you better listen now. I know you want to go fast and you want to go far, but when the road gets a little hard, remember who you are. Remember who you are. There'll be some twists and turns along the way, but you'll get a little stronger every day if you keep walking in the right direction, listening to your heart's expression. Just keep walking in the right direction, and I know you'll end up where you're supposed to be. You'll end up where you're supposed to be. Sometimes I get a little off course, 'cause where I'm headed ain't exactly true north, and every open door oh, ain't what I'm looking for. Well, I remember everything she said. There'll be some folks that try to mess with your head. Don't you be misled. You've got your own dreams instead. There'll be twists and turns along the way, but you'll get a little stronger every day. If you keep walking in the right direction, listening to your heart's expression, just keep walking in the right direction, and I know you'll end up where you're supposed to be. You'll end up where you're supposed to be. Keep on walking on faith, and I know you're gonna find that place you're supposed to be. Keep on walking in the right direction, listening to your heart's expression. Just keep walking in the right direction, and I know you'll end up where you're supposed to be. I said you'll end up where you're supposed to be. Keep on walking
in the right direction.
I said keep on walking.
In the right direction.
Oh, yeah, keep on walking.
In the right direction.
Oh, keep on walking.
In the right direction.
Keep on
Walking in the right direction.
Yeah, keep on walking.
In the right direction.
Yeah, keep on walking.
Let's hear it for the music/dance team. Let's take a moment now to turn within to gratitude. Hello. Thank you for bringing up the children's offering, you guys. So appreciate that. We do feel gratitude on this wonderful Sunday morning. We're so grateful for these financial gifts that are given so generously in support of this ministry. And now we send them forth as we transform lives, that transform the world. Thank you. And so it is. Amen. Thanks, you guys. A little traveling music. This is the time in our service when we welcome those who are new to Unity. If you're here today at Unity Renaissance, if you're here today for the first, second, or third time, we invite you to raise your hand up nice and high, holding up the appropriate number of fingers, 1, 2, or 3. Hey, welcome, TJ. Great to have you back with us today. Somebody new over here, great. If you're here for the first time today, there's a little card in that bag. Fill it out, take it into the bookstore, and you get a copy of a CD of a previous service. When you come for the second time, you get 2 CDs. One is positive, uplifting music from Empower Music and Arts, and the other is an exquisitely beautiful CD of sacred Unity recordings from the archives. Lovely. And on your third visit here, you get a copy of the Daily Word. So welcome, everybody. I just want to point out that TJ back there started watching us online, and that's how he made his way to Unity Renaissance. Is that correct? Yeah, baby. I love it. So welcome. We look forward to seeing you again and again.
Our school supply drive, sponsored by our community outreach. Thank you. Community outreach program will continue through August 11th.
Is this on?
Okay. We'll continue through August 11th. So we're asking you to bring supplies, pencils, erasers, ballpoint pens, backpacks, notebooks, anything that you know that can help a student perform in school. And we are giving these to the
Thurgood Marshall.
I know, the Thurgood Marshall School.
trying to help.
Hey, I'm full of emotion. This has been a wonderful service, number one. I mean, it's just touched my heart. But the Thurgood Marshall School, and we support that school in other ways. We have tutors, for those who didn't know, who go there and help the students a couple of times a week, I believe. And so we give and support them as much as a Title I school, and they really, really appreciate our service. And there's a member of our congregation, if I can say, who was honored by that school last year.
Tony
Tony
Porton,
Porton.
Volunteer of the Year, sitting over
He
there.
was Volunteer of the Year. So they really appreciate this ministry.
No, they just want you to hold it closer next time you chat. Little stage coaching there. Our next higher consciousness film is coming up. It's a film called Shazam. It's a great family film, superhero film about a 14-year-old boy who transforms into a superhero by saying the word Shazam. And here's a preview.
You've run from foster homes in 6 counties. I can take care of myself.
When you're 18, give these people a chance, because that's what they're giving you.
This is Billy Batson. Make sure you make him feel at home.
They seem nice. It gets real Game of Thrones around here. Dude, just messing around. You look at me and you're like, why so dark? You're a disabled foster kid. You've got it all. If you could have one superpower, what would you pick? Everybody chooses flight. You know why?
So they can fly away from this conversation?
No, because he loves to fly.
What, you need your fake family to stand up for you? Hey! Man, sorry about that. Go, go, go! Grab it! Get out the way!
Billy Batson, I choose you as champion.
Hello?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Wait, for real?
Say it!
Okay! Shazam?
This means Billy!
What is happening?
You're the only person I know that knows anything about this Cape Crusader stuff.
Can I...
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, right?
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
AM to the PM, PM to the AM.
You have super strength. Can you fly?
If I quit your PM, I still rock Mercedes. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
You okay? Why are you talking?
Be humble. Sit down.
You know, I don't think that's gonna buff out.
Your phone's charged. Your phone's charged.
The hell?
You're like a bad guy, right?
Shazam!
Gentlemen!
You have bullet immunity.
I'm bulletproof. You're dead. Sorry about your window, but you're welcome for not getting robbed. Oh, hey, sup? I'm a superhero.
Fun. Free admission and free popcorn when you come out to that movie. We follow the film with discussion, and we are still looking for someone or someones to help pop the popcorn before the movie on the first Friday of each month. Simple way to be of service, kind of fun. You get free samples, all that. So if you're interested, please see me after the service or see Marsha Austin, and we really appreciate your help. And you have one more, don't you?
Yes, I have very good news for everybody. Our bookstore will be open on Tuesdays from 2 to 4:30. And look what I bought today.
That's great.
You will find so many beautiful things. They have increased their
Inventory.
inventory. What a day. But unfortunately, I got the last one of these. And the last one of these. But there are other beautiful things there. So tell your friends who can come and buy and learn about this center and read the powerful books, many powerful books that we have in the bookstore.
Hey, I'd like to give a big shout out to our new bookstore manager sitting there. Hey, wave your hands back there, Ginger and Jan. They're doing a fabulous job. Really, really grateful. If you haven't been to the bookstore, go check it out. It's really amazing, amazing ambiance in there. With that, I'd like to invite up Tony, Lisa, and Maya Porton to make a special announcement.
Hello, you guys having a good morning? It's a great service, right? It's one of my favorites so far. If you guys don't mind, I just need you to do a quick favor for me real quick. I need you to take out your phones, and I need you to go to your calendar app. All right? Just pull out your calendar and find the date August 4th. August 4th, Sunday. We only have one service that day at 11 o'clock because it's our groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So Tony and I, as co-chair for the Turning Point, are so excited that August 4th, we're going to be breaking ground. And I want to thank all of you, because each and every one of you was part of this and did something to help us with raising money and making this dream come true. So on August 4th, we'll be breaking ground, and we hope that you all will come and attend. And if you haven't noticed, out on the wall in the narthex is the plans. And we are going to have a new education wing. We are going to have a much-needed fellowship hall. And my personal favorite, a functional and large kitchen. So, and as I understand, Paula, I think after the service, there's going to be hot dogs. The men's group is going to be serving hot dogs.
That. Yeah.
Yes, so please come join us.
Thank you to the men's group for doing that, serving hot dogs.
And yes, we will address vegans and vegetarians. So as co-chair for the Turning Point campaign, I really believe Lisa and I had the easier part of the job. We had the opportunity to meet with several of you, members and congregants. We were afforded the opportunity to share with you what inspires us at Unity Renaissance. And in kind, many of you shared with us what you are inspired by here at Unity Renaissance. As a result of all that sharing and caring, we had a very successful campaign, which was followed by a unanimous member vote approving us to get the financing to go ahead and start building and breaking ground. So, as I said, I think we had the easier part. I'd like to take a moment and acknowledge the real heavy lifters on our capital campaign and the subsequent build. Many of you might be familiar with our Facilities Improvement Committee. They have worked tirelessly for years, and most recently, almost weekly these last few months to get the final details. They've had to respond to city requests for changes, contractor requests for changes, and Unity Renaissance leadership requests for changes. And in all cases, they've responded with can-do. And you know, you heard mentioned about the board getting together yesterday. One of the things we talked about, and this is definitely exemplified by our Facilities Improvement Committee, is the power of yes. So I want to appreciate each and every one of you for your diligence, hard work, and dedication to a successful build. And I'm going to call you out by name, and if you know of any of these folks, please take a moment to express your gratitude and appreciation for their efforts. We have Ed Rosequist, Star Janicki, Jim Hudson, notice I wrote them bigger because my glasses, John Schonborn, Susan Lang, John Kidd, Ellen Jones, and Lee Pennypacker. And then most often they're augmented with the presence of Reverend Paula and Paul Mitchum as well. So please be sure and thank them. And that's all I have.
So while you're marking your calendars, go ahead and mark down August 11th as well. That's the week after the groundbreaking, because we're going to have our summer picnic here. We're going to have it on the grounds this time, which will be extra fun. You bring your lunch. We bring all these extra things listed up there on the slide, things to drink, watermelon, desserts, and activities. So it's going to be a really great time. That'll be after the second service on August the 11th. Lots going on. Had a good time. Yes. All right. Well, this is where we say goodbye to those who are watching online. Special shout out to Amber and Steve, to Charlie and Martha, and to Jess and Sheila. We miss you guys. I hope you're doing well. Look forward to having you back with us. And to all others out there, we send our love. And with that, let's stand now and welcome in our children.